The Kurukshetra war is over, leaving behind a landscape choked with ash and shattered weapons. And suspended above this ruined earth, resting entirely on the shafts of hundreds of arrows piercing his body, lies the patriarch of the Kuru dynasty, Bhishma. Any ordinary mortal sustaining even a fraction of these catastrophic injuries would have bled out within minutes. The physical trauma of shattered bones and pierced organs is absolute. Yet Bhishma possesses a divine boon known as Ichhamrityu. This power gives him absolute control over the moment his spirit leaves his body. He possesses the means to end his physical suffering instantly. But despite his broken physical state, his mind remains perfectly sharp, and he actively refuses to use this power. He chooses to endure weeks of agonizing pain on his bed of arrows instead of taking the immediate exit. He is deliberately anchoring his spirit to his failing body for two very specific reasons: to wait for a strict cosmic alignment in the heavens, and to fulfill one final, inescapable obligation to his bloodline. By forcing his physical form to survive through sheer discipline, Bhishma turns his defeat on the battlefield into a staggering demonstration of human willpower over human mortality. We look at this celestial map showing the Earth's axis. Bhishma awaits Uttarayan, when the sun stops its southern trajectory and begins its northward journey. This northward movement opens a path of light. Traveling this cosmic route is required to achieve moksha, direct liberation. Bhishma understands this timeline perfectly. He is marshaling every ounce of his remaining life force to keep his biological clock ticking until it synchronizes exactly with this solar shift. In the logic of the Mahabharata, spiritual purity alone isn't enough to secure ultimate freedom. Liberation requires a calculated, precise alignment with the physical mechanics of the universe. While Bhishma monitors the cosmos, the victors of the war are dealing with the psychological fallout on the ground. Yudhishthira, the newly crowned king, is entirely spiritually shattered by the carnage. He is paralyzed by massive guilt over the millions dead. Yudhishthira realizes he is expected to rule a massive kingdom built directly on top of the ashes and bones of his own relatives, and he wants to abandon the throne entirely. This is Bhishma's final, inescapable obligation. He must pivot from being the fearsome commander of the Kaurava army to becoming the ultimate teacher, using his fading breath to stabilize the broken king. This graphic outlines Bhishma's final discourse. He establishes 4 foundational pillars: Raja Dharma for political realities, absolute personal dharma, societal duties of women, and the necessity of charity. Securing the state, he then teaches the ultimate goal, the path to moksha. By the time he finishes speaking, Yudhishthira is ready to rule. Bhishma stabilized the Kuru dynasty through this systematic transfer of statecraft, providing a foundation that ensured the kingdom's survival far longer than any of his military victories ever could. Finally, the sun shifts north. Uttarayan arrives. The surviving Pandavas, a multitude of sages, and Krishna himself gather around the bed of arrows for the final farewell. Bhishma closes his eyes and consciously begins to draw his prana, his vital life force, upward through his physical body. He concentrates it entirely at the crown of his head, releasing it out into the universe to achieve total liberation. The emotional weight of this departure is immense. Standing beside the empty shell of the great warrior, even Krishna, the divine avatar, sheds tears. With Bhishma gone, the long, dominating era of the Kuru elders is definitively over. The Pandavas ascend to undisputed control of the throne, but the victory rings entirely hollow for the previous generation. We leave the triumphant Pandavas and look to the dark, silent corners of the capital, where the blind king Dhritarashtra and Queen Gandhari remain. They sit in total darkness, physically isolated and psychologically imprisoned. They are forced to live out their remaining days as empty figures, wandering the exact stone corridors where their 100 dead sons used to walk. Bhishma successfully engineered his own cosmic peace, but the psychological haunting of Hastinapur has only just begun. To see how the blind king and queen navigate their grief, join us for the next episode.